G'day fellas, welcome back to another casted game. We are once again tracking the pros as we look towards the Genesis Grand Final main event weekend that is happening. I'll leave a link in the description as to when you can catch Genesis. But as for now, we have the opposite of a pro. We have a noob who has spawned in playing as the English. And of course, his opponent who spawns in on the opposite side of the map. You guys know him. You love him. Oh, that's the wrong button. That's the one that we wanted. It is Don Arty, and he is playing the Mongols. A lot of hype right now over this civilization. Considered by many to be S tier. Personally, I think it's a bit more on A tier, just because it seems only viable on a few maps, at least compared to French. But nonetheless, Don going to be playing it out, putting his starting town center over here on the wood line. For anybody unfamiliar with Don Arty, he actually took out Doubt in the round of 16 for Genesis, and he only lost to, I believe, Lucifron in the round, or sorry, it was the round of 32 that Don Arty took Doubt out. In the round of 16, Don Arty lost to Lucifron. Lucifron has gone through to the final round, or the main event rather, so it's going to be a best of 8 this weekend. So make sure you check that out. Once again, link in the description, link in the pinned comment, so make sure you come over, say good day. So let's talk a little bit about what we can expect to see in this match, in this match up. Now, Don obviously playing on the Mongols. He's not 100% yet with the Mongols, but we're going to be watching to see what he manages to do. Taking out a little bit of damage already on that Khan. I would expect to see in this matchup, what we're going to be spotting is that Don is going to be looking to get a stable down here sooner rather than later. So one of the things to note is he hasn't actually gathered up any gold yet. So Don's probably going to wake up, if he's planning on aging up, 10 villagers now on food. Only one villager on wood at this point, so whether he's going to be shifting a whole bunch of villagers down towards this gold, does he actually know where his golds are? He doesn't. Oh, he does actually realize this gold is here. So now going to be dropping down the Gur with 3 villagers. Going to be moving out 2 villagers as well with it, so very heavy on gold. So we could potentially see a fast castle out of him. I wouldn't be surprised to see that, but I'm very keen to see what Don has got in store for us, because Don is the kind of guy. Okay, I just want to explain a little bit about Don. Don is the kind of guy, you give him a deck of cards, and he won't just build you like a house of cards. He will build you a house that you can live in. This guy, he finds a way to make the craziest stuff happen, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see if he pulls out some crazy rabbit out of his hat. Looking forward to it. Now going to begin that process towards age up. So looks like his build order is actually quite thought out. I'm expecting the reason why he's come out here with 5 villagers on this Gur is either he's planning to drop down his landmark out here, or he is looking to keep these 5 villagers on this Gur. So let's see exactly what happens now. Going to be dropping down the deer stones out here, so that's exactly it. So otherwise you wouldn't be bringing those 5 villagers out. You'd prefer a little bit of a trickle. So there's a couple different mindsets that you can have with regard to this. So as an example, if you go with 2 villagers out here from the very beginning, you'll get to 200 gold eventually. But your transition period, it's going to be, you know, not so gold heavy, only having 2 villagers on gold. Whereas like one of the things you'll see with the French is they send out 3-4 villagers to gold, but a little bit later, because they're going to need to keep those villagers on gold because they want to make knights. And so here we've seen Don drop down 5 villagers onto the gold vein a little bit later, and then use these villagers to be building these deer stones, getting them in a great position. So let's talk about these deer stones and how effective they're going to be here. So they're going to be providing the Yam network. They're also going to be providing an upgrade for the Yam movement speed, which I can't remember the name of it. I think it might be over here on the Uvu. No, it might be on the outpost, but essentially it's an age 3 upgrade, so a castle age upgrade, and it is going to be providing up this movement speed bonus for his villagers here. So you can see that the villagers are just out of range, but keep in mind, when they come back in, when they drop off this wood to the town center, they're going to get buffed up, and that's going to increase their movement speed, so they're moving faster, they're tracking faster. But we'll go check in with Noob, see how Noob is doing. Noob coming up now to the 2nd age, dropping down that council hall, no surprise, and rallying them somewhat to the front. Now, Noob's going to be a bit careful here. He is dropping down a mill, but one of the things to note against the Mongols, they're going to have a lot of units. They're going to have a lot of units early. Now, there's a couple ways that the Mongols can play it. Now, whether they go for a bit of a boom, whether the Mongols look to, you know, potentially look at getting down that the silver tree, moving it down to the back corner here and beginning a trade across this way, or even maybe trading down in this direction. Probably a little bit better of a trade. But this one's obviously a lot safer, so that is your first option. Second option, obviously going for the Deerstones, which has been scouted out now by Noob. He does spot the Deerstones, so he knows that there's going to be units on the menu for Don. And now Don going to be scouting out an outpost on the front line, and I do like this from Noob. So we are seeing more and more players going for these defensive outposts. Outposts are very cheap, very affordable. Only 100 wood to put an outpost down, and this is going to guarantee that 5 villagers all make it alive. They all stay alive. They're not going to die. So that's exactly why we see this. So I would expect to see 3 more villagers coming out here now. There you go. 3 villagers going to come out here. You're going to feel safe underneath this outpost, underneath this mill, and going to be alive. Now, if he does want to add 5 more villagers out here, he'd need to bring a second outpost, but I don't think he's going to have more than that. 5 villagers is all you need, and I also expect, by the same token, to see him expand down here to this hunt. He does know that this hunt is here in this area, so I would expect to see him come expand down to this hunt and drop down very similarly a mill as well as an outpost. So we'll have to wait. We'll have to see whether he makes that decision. Going to be scouting out Don, spots out the Uvu, spots the double archery range here for Don. So we'll have to take a look at how Don is planning on playing this, but my suspicion from knowing Don's playstyle and knowing about this archery range play that Don is going to be going full archers. So I don't think he's going to be doing Mangudai, because he's going to know that Mangudai aren't going to be performing that well against Longbowmen. Longbowmen, very long range, a lot of damage, difficult to deal with. So I'd be surprised to see Mangudai coming out from him, and that's exactly what we spot. We spot those archers coming out from Don. So he's going with double archers nice and early, and he's using all of his gold, or all of his stone rather, to go into this. So really smart from Don. We'll take a look over from his perspective. Look how much stone he's got. Only 92 stone. So using all of this stone to invest it in double archer production right now. Really nice move from Don. So for anybody wondering exactly why this is so effective, or why it's going to be so strong, is because these are essentially free resources. I mean, obviously you have to, these are resources that you don't have to otherwise spend, but Don is able to build up a significant mass here. Going to be able to come in here, needs to use that Khan. He didn't actually get it off in time, but now going to be pushing up 13 archers. Compare that only to the 11 longbows, and as long as Don's able to one-shot these archers, or these longbows, he's going to be in a decent position, but not actually able to get the one-shot off. Needed to probably use the movement speed there to get on top of his enemy, but now we see the archer mass beginning to build, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that Noob would just stay back. Now, he actually manages to spot these archers sitting in the trees here. Now, that is because of the outpost. The outpost is able to see into the stealth forest. Now, the outpost has actually got a static line of sight that it provides line of sight to, irrespective of elevation, irrespective of stealth forests. However, it cannot see past normal forests. So you can see here, it can't see over the top of these bad boys, but it can see into these stealth forests. So if Noob was to come up here and place an outpost, say, right here, Don's gig would be up, well and truly. But speaking of outposts, Don now going to be extending out his outpost. And keep in mind, both players actually get bonuses from their outposts in this matchup. So with Noob, he's going to be extending out his network of castles bonus, whereas Don is going to be extending out his Yam network. Now, keep in mind, Don obviously going up with the Deerstones means that his archers, his foot soldiers, his infantry, cavalry, everything is going to be getting upgraded. And speaking of everything, it looks like oh my lord, it was so close to going down. The archers tried their best. Now going to be able to take down that scout. And Don, got to be a bit careful. Noob on the back line here. Let's take a look from Don's perspective and see if he spots it. He's going to be chilling out here. First villager going down. Second villager going to be going down. Third villager going to be going down. Fourth villager, does it go down? It does indeed. 4 villager advantage goes over to Noob. So Don feeling a little bit bad at this point in time, getting attacked by a wolf. But Don now moving across the map, and you can see he is chasing his enemy. He says, you know what? You have caused me great pain, and I must punish this. And so now Don going to be outmassing his opponent. 25 archers for him compared to only 14 longbows. So if Don does manage to find these, he's going to be able to have a significant advantage, connecting pretty decently right now. And keep in mind, he does have a speed advantage. A significant speed advantage, and now Noob going to be moving into the back, so picking up 4 vills, but losing 14 longbowmen. Was it worth it? He's going to be able to trade out archers as he does it, but we see Don with so many low HP archers, Noob trying his best to pick them off and just not managing to do it. The wolf getting in on the action here as well. A bit of a bitey infantry on the front to tank it up. And Don having a very decent time here. So was that trade worth it? Look, I would definitely say Don is happy right now. This is exactly where Don wants to be. So what does Don like to do? Don loves to play one base. If he plays one base, he's in his Like, this is his core. This is what he loves. So he has lost villagers, but that's okay because he has traded for military units. And so now he's got a significant military advantage. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go look at Don's base right now, there is going to be a blacksmith that is down. And probably you're going to have the siege engineering technology researched already. Let's take a look. Blacksmith is down. Siege engineering, not yet researched, but it is on the way any second now. Any second now. Come on, Don. Hit the button. Hit it, Don. He should have hit it by now. I don't know where he is. Wake up, Don. Or maybe he doesn't have the resources for it. We're looking... Yeah, okay, he doesn't have the resources for it. That's okay. I'll forgive him. I'll forgive him. We're looking at Noob's perspective. I'm like, why aren't you hitting it, Don? Hit it, mate. But for an understandable reason, he didn't. So now Don has got a significant lead at this point. Why does Don have a significant lead? So despite losing those villages, which obviously hurt his economy, so he's not on 37 villages, he's only on 33, but he has a significant military advantage. And that's the consequence of raiding with your longbows like that when you are outmassed like this. Because if your opponent does catch you, which Don did catch him, it is going to be a significantly difficult time for you to get back into the game. So now we take a look from Noob's perspective. He's going to continue to make more archers. You can see him training them up right now. Plenty of them in the queue. Dropping a second archery range now. Or I guess technically it's a first archery range, but it's going to act as a third archery range. A second building, though. But now going to continue to push in. Don with that YAM network upgrade. We see 15% speed increase. Not even including right there the bonus from the Khan. So now the Khan is going to be coming in, and I would expect that we've got siege engineering on the way. Indeed we do. So Don going to be dropping down. We'll take a look from his perspective, see how his wood's going. Macro still not the best. Don needs to get a couple hundred more wood under his belt right now. Probably just send a couple villagers. Yep, sending a few villagers out over onto the wood line. See him dropping down a Gur. He's got to be careful with that Gur. I mean, he can always pick up these deer stones. Ideally, you'd want to see him pick up these deer stones and move them just a bit closer, or even get these deer stones out on the map. Bring these deer stones out with you when you push in. Very, very cheeky when I've seen players do that. But we do see Top Khan do that. He's one of the best Mongol players. But now Don looking to really finalize that nail in the coffin. Siege engineering coming in. Still yet to have a full amount of wood to be able to get that ram in. But now Don got to be careful. You see the mass difference, 25 longbowmen. Compare that to the 41 archers. And Don's going to be able to get in on top of his enemy. Now going to be dropping down that battering ram, and the siege is going to begin. So Don really looking to finalize this game. Now, what's Don going to be going after? You might be thinking, all right, well, Don building a siege ram, or what is it called? A battering ram? Apologies. He's going to be looking for buildings, right? Wrong. He's looking for villagers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him look to clean this up to begin with, but then probably move over from this angle and then look to clean up this and then potentially move towards the town center. He's going to be hoping that villager pulls happen. And then when the villagers get pulled, that's when he's going to be focusing down the villagers over the military units. Now we see the archers beginning to move forward. Khan in the back, not on stand ground at the moment, so he's got to be careful with it, not to get picked off. Khan now firing off. We do see it's the attack speed arrow. Don looking to get a pretty decent trade here. 25 longbows compared to his opponent. 25 longbows, only 30 archers now for him, but continuing to dwindle those numbers down to 20. Reinforcements are happening, but Don looking pretty good. Villagers getting pulled. You can see on the back line, these villagers have got a lot of range. But Don going to be picking out the villagers amongst the mass, undoubtedly. More archers continuing to come in, and it actually looks like his opponent is going to be able to hold on here. So Don probably not picking the best angle of attack, maybe not picking the best timing, but villagers now going to be falling back. We'll take a quick look at the villager count. 37 villagers for Noob. Compare that over to Don, who's sitting on 42. So Don picking up a lot of villagers. We see villagers on the ground here, combined with the longbows. So Don managing to not only just even up that villager count, but surpass it. So that all comes from that early catch. The fact that he was able to catch those early longbows, bring them down here, corner them with the wolf together. We actually see the Baidu infantry is still down there, waiting for more longbows. He is a hungry boy. But it all came to that, and that's why Don is able to push in there and really punish that. So great decision making there from Don. We'll take a look from his perspective, see what he's looking to do. If I was Don from this point, I'd probably be looking to go for an age 3 and then look to go straight into double knight production. Now, keep in mind, Don is keeping up full production at this point, but he has gathered himself a little bit of a villager lead. He's obviously got plenty of military out and about here. The single ram is going to be able to draw fire, but Don looking to push his advantage still. So now we'll take a look how he manages to do that. He could just go straight for this mill. Keep in mind, he is playing the Mongols. So every building that he takes down, he's going to be feeling very good about himself because he's going to be lighting that bad boy up and now continuing to put out this damage. Don really needs to be collecting all of these bounties. So keep in mind, these farms actually deliver a very nice bounty. Bounty going to be coming in now for Don. We'll switch to his perspective so we can watch that bounty come in. Mill going to be going down. Very cheeky of Don. Villagers going to be coming out, looking to siege, and Don should be taking advantage of that. But ideally, I'd love to see Don cleaning up these farms as well, because he is going to be able to get that bounty bonus as well. All right. And now Don going to be cleaning up this mill as well. I'll take a look and see whether he's got that research just yet from the Uvu. As we look, where is it? That Uvu just packed up. Did he just create a new Uvu? He just created a new Uvu. Bad timing there. And now we'll have a look. This one right here. Add plus 75 stone to the raid income for igniting a building. You can also get the improved version, which is plus 125. So a very nice bonus right there. If you can play early aggro Mongols, and that's exactly what Don is doing. So I hope to see him looking to get that one in. I think there's a couple of other upgrades rather that you can get in here as well. Yeah, increase the raid income for igniting a building to plus 125 food and gold. So you can get raid bounty, you get the stone bounty. There's a whole bunch of different upgrades you can get, and of course superior mobility is in there. But now outposts on the front line going to continue to providing this speed bonus. Longbow mass is going to begin building up. 23 longbows out here compared to Don, who's on 28 archers. Probably not enough to really push the advantage. But Don sitting up on 50 villagers. We'll compare that over to his opponent. Opponent sitting on 38 villagers. So Don really beginning to build a significant lead compared to his opponent right now. And working his way through this significant forest quite early in the game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him potentially moving out down towards this southern forest. There are a lot of forests out on this map, so he's got another one down here, another forest down here, so really no shortage of wood. But now Don moving up towards the north. We'll take a look what he manages to find. Khan up here, scouting out as well. No real units up here. There are some villagers gathering up on the berries, but he is looking to push this angle potentially. Do we see a ram? Where is that ram? I don't actually know where he's rolled that ram to. Did that ram die? Where's the ram? Can I get a Control F battering ram? Am I blind? Where is Ram? There she is. There she is. What do we call? We gotta have a name for rams, right? Like, there's gotta be a name for it. Like, is it Randy the Ram? Is that what we're going with? It's gotta be. I feel like it's a girl. What's a female name that starts with R? That's not like Rebecca. Oh, Khan getting sniped out right there. Feels bad, man. Rhonda. Yeah, Rhonda's good. I like that. Rhonda the Ram. Rhonda, we found Rhonda. Rhonda! No, Rhonda, not like this! Rhonda, run away! Run away, Rhonda! No, Rhonda! Poor Rhonda. It feels so much better when you attach a name to it. You know that there's so much more on the line. Ram DeRousey. Yes. Rhonda the Ram. It is, she's quite potent. She's quite potent. Speaking of potent, 39 longbows now out for Noob. And Don only on 38 archers, but he does have a pretty good mass over here as well. 48 now for him. +1 upgrades coming in for him as well. +1 for his opponent. These guys are both evenly matched right now. And Don pushing up to the front. We see the healing circle coming down for his opponent and looking to trade out. Don actually doing a great job of picking off units. So if we look at the HP here, Don really doing a great job of focus firing down. So Don is the kind of guy who's got multiple control groups for all these archers, and he is focusing them down. Don now on 28 archers. We'll compare that over to his opponent. Wrong button there, Drongo. 27 longbows. So still having a pretty tough time. Don now sitting on 25 archers. Knows it's in a bit of a difficult spot. Going to continue trading out. Battering ram up the front. Rhonda getting in on the action, but not really doing a lot at this stage. And I definitely feel like this is the right play from Don, but I feel like he's probably got to retreat at this point. My main concern is that he is going to be outmassed as we head towards the mid-game here. So what I'd love to see from Don is that age up, but I feel like there's no real window for it for him now. So there was a window after that first successful push, but now as we enter into the mid-game and his opponent Noob is able to push out, it becomes harder and harder for Don to have a window here. So Khan almost coming up now. Now Don did fight without the Khan, and that's a bit of a difficult spot because ideally you want to be taking as many fights as you can with the Khan. 21 archers now for Don, 22 longbows out for Noob. Noob using his range to an advantage here. And we'll take a look at Noob's base. We'll spot exactly what's going on there. He's got the market down here, so a little bit of missed macro there. You can see it's got a very large footprint as well, kind of punishing the player that makes the market. Markets are a very rare thing that you'd see in my gameplay because my macro is just that good. I don't even need it, baby. I don't even need it. But Noob, obviously, his name reflects his skill, and that's why he's got the market out this early. But still more archery rangers going to be coming out for him. And basically the equivalent of 4 archery rangers now. And Don continuing to push forward. No Khan just out yet. Where is it? Sitting on the back line. We have actually had an attack speed arrow come out. So Don looking to do his best. More archers coming out now for Don. Compare that to 21... Noob sitting on 21 longbowmen. Right now, Don on 19 archers. So doing his best, but actually cleaning up pretty well at this point. So it looks like the healing ward, or healing circle, just not going to be enough to hold on. More reinforcements coming in for Don from multiple angles here. So he's got the 2 archery rangers back here supplying, and Don looking like he might be thinking about a little bit of an age up right now. 62 villagers out for him. No villagers on wood. So really trying to break even in this fight, and then probably going to head towards a potential... I would expect to see a switch into cab, but there's no stable out for Don. 25 idle vills now for Don. Completely running dry. What is Don going to do? Because his Gur now is packed up. It's heading back. He's got to be careful. Don going to be on the back foot. Do we have a ram coming out just yet for Noob? Let's take a look at whether he's got that siege engineering. He's got siege engineering. There's going to be a ram coming out for Noob any second here. Probably going to be dropped down right here. Maybe drop down. There it is. So ram now coming out for Noob. You could just tell the difference. You know, I'm starting to learn these players, the way that they play. I could tell from the way he was looking. He was going to be dropping a ram down, and that's exactly what we see now. So going to be healing up on top of that. A little bit of a ram dance happening as they go for it and continuing to go past Don. Don going to be scouting this out, spotting that the ram is coming. Now, Don actually in this position, instead of going for Cav, I would love to see men-at-arms. Men-at-arms here would actually do very effectively. So I would like to see Don potentially running away with his archery rangers, trying to distract his enemy, maybe even moving onto this north side, and then at the same time dropping down barrackses. That's what I would love to see out of Don. Now, keep in mind, this bad boy here, Step Redoubt, acts as a Gur, so all these units here, or all these villagers here, are going to be gathering up directly to the Step Redoubt. And, ideally, Don should be packing these bad boys up, run them away, and it looks like he's going to be pushing through now. Longbowman going to be looking to get a bit of damage out here, but keep in mind, okay, if he actually goes for men-at-arms here, it would be very smart, because the Mongols don't have access. We do indeed have the barracks. Very, very smart from Don. The Mongols don't have access to the men-at-arms in the first or the second age. Khan going down again, 3rd time in the game. Don Artie feeling bad right now, but moving towards this southern base, so definitely going to be locating this out. He's going to be careful. Villagers going to be going down on this front. So because they don't have access to the men-at-arms in the first or the second age, they don't need to upgrade them. So when they come in, they are basically fully upgraded. Now, speaking of fully upgraded, where is that blacksmith? There should be a blacksmith somewhere around here. Is that it? That's a Gur. There it is, up towards the north. I would love to see him get wedge rivets in just right now. Would help him out, but now Don's going to be careful, okay? Because there is a point, if he's not careful, that his men-at-arms are going to get picked off. And the smart thing to do for his enemy, Noob. Now, Noob actually spotted this out. I'm 99% sure he spotted this out. He was like right here. He 100% spotted this barracks. You move down to the barracks. You sit on top of the barracks. You hold the barracks, because then you're going to pick off every single men-at-arm. You're not going to let them build up, because take a look at these bad boys, right? They're sitting on 5 attack, or 5 defense. Compare that to the 7 attack. So they're only going to be taking 2 damage each, right? Which is the equivalent of 73, hold on, let me do my math. 75, 76, 77, 78 shots. That is a lot. That is a lot. Second ram dance now going to be happening, and you know we got to get in on the action like this. You spot a ram dance happening. Come on, little longbowman looking to get in on the action. Ram dance, everyone do the ram dance. Looks like they've stopped doing the ram dance, though. At least some of them have. But now going to be heading out from the ram dance. Veteran longbows, rather, going to be coming in now, and Don looking like he might be in a bit of a difficult spot. Going to be moving this Step Redoubt off sooner rather than later. I kind of like leaving this here, because the longer you leave it, the more the rams are going to stay here. So maybe pull it out at about 2,000 HP and then bring it over this way. But look at the men-at-arm mass now for Don. This is huge. There is no way that this doesn't hold. And now Don doing exactly that. We see the Step Redoubt coming over. Going to be sitting on top of this gold mine. He's got to be careful not to be dropping this off to the town center. And villagers looking to get inside the town center. Not a lot of room in there. New Khan has now risen. And ideally, I want to see the New Khan just pop out a whole bunch of speed improvements. He's got the YAM network on these bad boys. They're moving at 1.29 tiles, so if he can combine the Khan together with that bonus, he's going to be really looking good. But now Noob falling back, realizing that, hold on, he might be in a little bit of trouble right now. Noob reaching the 3rd age. As you guys did see, veteran longbowmen have come through, but ideally he's going to be in a bit of a tough spot. We got some spears coming out. Springled as well. And now Don looking to push forward. He spotted out the Rams. This is not the right target. Ideally, you need to be going straight for these units. So maybe even getting a Ram down yourself. But Don going to be taking what he can get. I expect we're going to have +2 coming in. We do have +2 coming in, so Wedge Rivet's going to be coming in for Don Artie. A single longbow going to be firing, or rather 4 longbows going to be firing at that. A couple longbows back here. He's got to bring those back, but now these Rams going to be going down. Now, these Rams really don't mean much at this point in the game, but look at the damage that comes through right now. Don just really soaking this up. 10 damage. Compare that to the 5 armor, so these longbowmen going to have a lot of difficulty dealing with Don Artie's military mass as it continues to happen. Pushing now through. Don looking pretty decent, trying his best. Springled on the back line, going to be getting some shots off here, and Don really trying and actually having a difficult time getting through here, using the movement speed buff a little bit too early, and longbows hold, so that +2 really making all the difference. Had he had that +2, the longbows would have held significantly better, but now we spot down towards the back of the base for Noob. He actually went up with the White Tower here, and using the White Tower to make the Springled, so a very nice use of the White Tower with that regard. But now, the longbows continue to push out across the map, and it was really important for Don to try and go a bit earlier, but now that mass has continued to build, and Don probably scratching his head at this point, saying, well, hold on a minute, I thought the men-at-arms were meant to do really well against the longbows. Well, they are, Don. They are. They don't. That is the unfortunate truth. Don going to be sending out a single men-at-arms just to siege down this battering ram. Men-at-arms learning quickly that that was not the right play. Now, 34 veteran longbows out, and this is almost the critical mass of longbows. So we take a look at the difference between these two. 4 damage for each longbow. So a total of 40 longbows is going to one-shot a man-at-arms, or rather 39 would do it, and he's sitting on 35. Crossbows now coming in as well for Noob. This is cause for concern, rather, because Don's playing his Mongols. He's not particularly comfortable on them yet. And his opponent's playing the English, which is Don's main civ. So Don knows all the strengths, all the weaknesses of the English. And the score begins to build up now for Noob. So perhaps his name is a little bit deceiving. Maybe he's not actually a noob. I don't know about you guys, but I've watched Don Artie take a lot of good players to 30-40 minutes in games. But this game is up against a noob. And the noob is actually taking him to school. So very well played from Noob. And now Don towards the south, expanding out with his Uvu. So there was an Uvu up here towards the north. But Don said, you know what? This is probably better, safer, stronger, faster, harder. And realizing that now it's in a bit of a difficult spot for him. So was actually going to go for double stable, but getting found out the hard way. So unfortunate for Don that it had to come like this. Don now going to be in a very difficult position as his Uvu goes down. And Don going to be very sad. We'll take a look over at how he's doing. He's got plenty of resources here. We actually see double Lancer coming out, but they just get eaten up completely by the longbows. Doing a really good job. The last saving grace for Don is going to be a villager pull, it seems. Don really pulling 48 villagers now and saying it's the ultimate chance to be alive. Get in on the action. The villagers are looking to siege down the Springles, and we've got one of the largest villager pulls that's ever happened right now. 48 villagers for Don, absolutely shredding through the Springles. They get in on the back line and look to soak up as much damage as they can while the men-at-arms work their magic. Don looking to use his economic lead here. Battering rams, they got to be careful. Don't siege down those battering rams. You want to get these bad boys over here, but Don actually cleaning this up. The villager pool looks to have worked. Don is securing this lead right now and looking incredible as he does it. One of the largest villager pools we've ever seen, but how many villagers have gone down for Don? He's sitting on 41 villagers right now as he cleans up the remnants of this army. We'll take a look over at Noob, who sits at 66. So a significant difference in villager counts now, and the question is at this point, which player is ahead? Because when you take a look at the score, Don Artie is now pulling ahead with that massive villager pool and really showing that the only men that matter in this battle are not the men at arms, they are the men and women of the villagers. So great to see Don coming once again and going to be pushing in here. Crossbows now looking to provide a little bit of a defensive flank. We see all these crossbows coming out for Noob. Now, Don only has armored units, so these units are going to be countering Don very effectively as Don continues to push in now with villagers. I think Don realizes that this might be a good game for him because whilst he has the military advantage for a short time, his enemy's going to be able to fall back towards his town center, towards the White Castle, White Tower, rather, and going to be able to pick these off one by one. He's doing a great job as he continues to macro out, and it looks like Don Artie has thrown in the towel. We see his units have turned white, and Noob has been victorious. If you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you check out Genesis, happening this weekend. We are tracking the pros here, and Don Artie is definitely one of them. I'll leave a link in the description. Check it out, a link in the pinned comment. Don't miss it. I'll see you guys this weekend. Thank you for watching.